What's going on, guys? Today, I'm going to explain the Pokemon community using a beautiful chart and science. Now, anyone in the community could fall on this list. You can put anyone on this list. There's a spot for everybody. Now, a few things I want to explain about this list. This chart, this graph, this beautiful creation of mine. A few things. One, this is the Dunning-Kruger scale, chart, graph, whatever, with a little bit of a twist. So, this bottom axis here, knowledge. So, and we're not talking about how many Pokemon do you know, okay? We're talking about your overall knowledge of how the Pokemon market and everything, just your knowledge of everything. All right, we start here from just getting into the hobby. Over here, Rudy status, okay? That's how much you know. Now, this, I put ego. You could say this is your confidence. This is how cocky you are, right? So here, again, little weenie Timmy Hut Jr., all the way to, you're the guy who sings the Pokemon theme song and you go around and you think your autographs are worth $100, all right? That's the kind of confidence level we're at. So, Jason Page, we're at that confidence level, right? Now, these little dots here, I will explain these when we get to them. Now, I'm going to basically explain the percentages of people, and I'm going to explain the people in these categories that I'm creating. So, let's begin, shall we? The first category, I'm going to basically make it this block right here. And I'm going to say that 60% of the player base falls somewhere in here. Now, let me explain the dots. So what do I mean by this graph? I mean 60% of people will interact with Pokemon, but it will not have really any effect on they're really not even going to consume much Pokemon content. They might a little bit, they might play the games a little bit. These are the 12 to 18 month people. Some of them will break out and they'll keep going, but most of them, they're just gonna they're not gonna get burned on it. It's just not a part of their life, right? They're not watching content like this, right? They just don't care. It's fun, it's cool. They move on with their life. It's not part of their everyday thing. But let's be honest, like, who doesn't interact with Pokemon somewhat in their lifetime, right? It's the largest IP in the world. So, 60% of people I put in this category, and of that 60%, let's be honest, like 75% of them are just not going to care about Pokemon after that, after like 12 to 18 months. Now, this 10% here, we'll make it like this block here. We'll say this is 10%. These are the guys you see on Reddit. This is the loud minority. These are the people, again, let's consult the chart. These people have just like, they've just, they've swiped a little bit of genius, of knowledge. They've glanced at the books. They are like, their fingertips have touched genius, but they're just not, you know what I mean? It's like they think they know, but they don't even know. You know what I mean? That's basically where this is the chart where because at first you know nothing, right? You know whatever, but then let's say you watch your first Rudy video and you're like, I got this all. Like this just massive wave of confidence comes over you because you've broken out of this like 60% barrier, and you've like seen something that you didn't even know was possible, right? You've been unveiled this like gift, and you're riding high. You think that you know everything. This is where you get the most funny YouTube comments, the most insane Reddit posts of people who have done like 10 minutes of research and they are now draining their bank accounts into this idea So if you make one YouTube video where you're just like, oh, I think maybe this, you're basically going against their entire worldview because they have taken just a little bit of knowledge they have and they put their entire identity into it. It's a very dangerous group. And I'll be honest with you, as we see, I'll show shortly, there's really only two ways out of this group. Or you can just get stuck here your whole life, and that's not a fun place to be. But if you get out of it, there's usually two ways you get out of it. So again, this is just Reddit. This is Reddit. See how it's R for Reddit? You know what the R also stands for? Yeah, you know. Okay, now this is okay. So we talk about there's really two ways to get out of this, and this is one of them, unfortunately. And this is the guys. And I'm gonna say this is probably another 10% of people. This is where we lose people. This is where Timmy over here, he went full R. You never go full R. And he said, you know what? I'm going all in. Oh, where'd I put him? Oh, I don't even have any anymore. I'm going all in on Pokemon Halloween trick-or-treat packs because those packs are so cheap. They've got to go up, right? He does something or he goes all in on some promo card or something nonsensical. He puts his entire rent into it. And it doesn't even have to crash and burn, even though that's what happens a lot of times, right? And then they lose everything. It just has to, some people just get impatient. And if it doesn't double in 6 months, well, they got rent due. So they get mad and they just dump everything at a loss or a break even or just a slight profit because they're tired of waiting and they leave. And so, again, of that group, you have these few that just, they're just gone. They're just completely gone. And again, what is happening here is we've had an event, we learned that we weren't maybe so smart as we thought we were, right? Something happened that made us realize, oh, I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. And some people can't handle that. A lot of people, this is a scam, it's all manipulated, blah, 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 blah. That's, again, also some Reddit people. These people here, these are the people on Reddit saying it's all a scam, it's all manipulated, blah, 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 da, 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 da. That's them. Now, you got this 10%, and this is about where I'd put it myself here. Now, I didn't get burned or anything, but I made some mistakes. I did some things. I made mistakes. But I learned from the mistakes, right? I'll tell you right now, I maybe shouldn't have gone as hard into Flesh and Blood as I did. I haven't lost money on it, but I could have made more money. Collector boxes. Magic's, I was wrong about, I was somewhat wrong. I was 50-50 on collector boxes. I still made a ton of money on Pokemon, and I still hedged a little bit into collector boxes, but I probably could have gone a little bit harder into collector box, right? It's the people who go, I should have bought more, right? I kind of had it figured out, but I should have bought more of that. I should have bought less of that. That's kind of this group. It's like, okay, I've seen this all, and you don't even necessarily, to be here, you could go through more of like this, right? Where you don't go, you kind of just skim the R. You never go full R. You just go a little R, and you're not Icarus. You don't fly too high to the sun, but you can kind of feel some of the feathers falling off, and you go, well, I better come down, right? So some people, they don't touch the full R, and they stay here. They learn a little bit of lessons. Like with anything, right? It's okay to make mistakes. You got to make mistakes, but you got to learn from the mistakes, right? So people who know it's okay to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes, they maybe don't have as big of a curve, and they don't come crashing down. It's a little bit more of a smoother, right? Your ego's not as damaged. So this is the people who kind of like, okay, all right, I see what's going on here, right? But I definitely, this I would say, I don't even want to put 10% here, right? Because I think 60, 70, 80, 90. I'm going to say 15%. even though I don't think that's right. You could probably do like 12, like 222 or something. I'll say 5%, and maybe it's 10%, but I say 5% of people get here. So, and again, this is Rudy. This is people you never heard of. Again, somebody who was in management for retail for most of his life. Let me tell you something about surveys, right? Who takes surveys? Is somebody who had a good time and just chilling, doing a good, like, are they going to take, are they going to have their voice heard? No, because they don't care. They're just doing their life, right? It's only full R's who want to shout and scream and let the world know about how they feel. Those are only people, look, full R for leaving a review, right? That's the only people that leave reviews. So the reason you don't see comments from, or you don't hear a lot from these people, it's because I don't care. You all right? Good luck, Timmy. No, we've kind of realized that, and hats off to Rudy for still doing what he does, because I don't even come close to what he does, and even just talking to the camera, I'm just like, I know none of these people are going to listen, but I guess Rudy has kind of smarter people listening to him, so he has maybe a little bit more faith. But again, guys, this is the chart. If I'm wrong, let me know how I'm wrong, but I mean, you can't argue with the chart. It is what it is. See you around, guys.